So hello, you're very welcome to Atlanta, where it's all over for England. Argentina are through to the final of the World Cup. You can see here the fans are still slowly making their way out of the stadium. It was pretty lively after the full-time whistle. Too noisy to record anything, but for England, oh Lord, that is the ultimate defeat. 1986, 1998, obviously pain, but also excuses, hard luck stories. This one, I feel like it's going to be more of an internal English reflection in the aftermath. As much it was the enmity is there, this was the occasion that in many ways we expected in terms of the anthems being booed, all the sort of chirpy FIFA pre-match stuff was very much out of place. This was like proper intensity, and probably some words exchanged around the place during the match. There was an England fan running up the steps at 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, making that gesture to a couple of Argentines who weren't too impressed. They had the last laugh. With England, I think obviously it's going to be it could be a pretty brutal fallout for Thomas Tuchel. So I'm going to do this diary in two parts. This is the immediate aftermath, just to get a feel of what it's like in the stadium, but I'd imagine downstairs the English reaction to this game is going to be quite revealing, because they retreated. They went to try and see out this game with the 5-4-1 or the 5-5-0, like they did against Mexico, like they did against Norway, Big Dan Burn, etc, etc, but they weren't playing against teams who didn't believe they could go on and win it. This Argentina team believes it can win. It's a team that doesn't know when it's beaten. It's been on the ropes in every single knockout game, and every time they have prevailed. And when the pressure rises, they get better. But yeah, let's go and see what they're saying downstairs and try and get a flavour of the English reaction to this, and maybe a little bit of the Argentine reaction as well. So these are the joys of the World Cup mix zone. It's Lionel Messi's over my shoulder there somewhere. You can see the scrum. Most of the England players have come through already. Harry Kane admitting they could have done a bit more with the ball. Thomas Tuchel next door in his press conference, maybe sort of not exactly accepting responsibility and slightly defensive about the display, a little bit like his players were defensive later on. But as we can see, the only person anyone wants to speak to now is Lionel Messi, who's been here before. It's actually been a thing in this competition. He's been stopping all the way through. He's sort of enjoying what's probably his last lap. And naturally, all is well in the world. Lionel Scaloni in his press conference, all very emotional afterwards, very positive questions. England a little bit more of an inquest going on. Seeing here how some of the players who haven't played walking through. It's the most miserable place. It's actually a tight mix zone here, and yeah, all the eyes are on you. You don't really want to stop and speak. If you haven't played, I mean, maybe you have your own things you'd like to say, but there's nothing you can say in this situation. So yeah, by far the strangest thing coming out of the stadium is that it's still daylight here. It sort of feels like midnight, 1 a.m. It's the air-conditioned stadium with the, it's covered, and downstairs you're in the tunnel, and you come out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, there's still a lot of the evening is left here, and it is Argentina celebrations again. I think the English mood is one of regret. You can't get away from that in the post-mortem about how they retreated, and I feel that discussion is one that's going to continue over the next 24, 48 hours as they head for Miami. And you wouldn't associate Miami with misery, but going there for a third, fourth place playoff against France, that's not a fun prospect given what could have been. But the rest of the world's eyes are going to be focused for New York on Sunday. We've got Spain against Argentina. What a final. You talk about England and Argentina. It's been a long time between drinks, between gatherings. They haven't played in the World Cup since 1966. You kind of think, how is that possible? Spain and Argentina, two powerhouses, two former winners. But, the holders and the 2010 champs. But yet they've been kept apart despite being in the latter stages consistently. across the last couple of decades. So that is a great game to look forward to. I'm heading to New York on Thursday morning. Sean is already there. We'll have a little bit of a catch-up there in New York to chat about the final as they build up to Sunday. As they sort of gather steam, I guess, but without England. They join France in the what could have been game on Saturday. Spain and Argentina, their world alive with possibilities as we head towards the Big Apple.